Hi, welcome back, everybody. I'm Diane. I'm here with Karen today, and we are back here on the Soul Light Collective channel, and we are just excited to be here with you today. And we are
Yes.
opening up, going to talk about, I was leading a meditation class earlier today, and this is what it was a guided meditation. It was all about letting go. So I was just kind of telling Karen that, and we said, let's talk about it. Um, or what are you ready to let go of? What are, we literally carry the weight of the world on our shoulders, and it can feel like that. It can feel so heavy with so much of what goes on in our day-to-day lives, in our personal lives, but also what we've carried into this time in our life from past earlier experiences in this lifetime and perhaps other lifetimes, but also the weights of the world, what's going on in the world. Because there is so much heaviness. And so we're talking about stepping into your power to,
Mm.
to, and what are you ready to let go of in order to feel lighter, to feel more and experience more peace, which is our birthright. What do you want to
Yeah.
add to that?
Whew. What I keep hearing is, what are you willing to let go, right? Versus what do I have to let go, right? Do I have a choice in the matter?
You do
That
have a
comes up
choice.
for me, right?
Yeah, you do
Is
have
it
a choice.
physical possessions? Is it letting go of old memories? Is it letting go of aspects of myself that I have taken a look at? There's that shadow work, taken a look at and been like, I don't know if I really like that part of myself anymore. Am I willing to let go of things I like to control? Oh my God, the list goes on and on. When I say things I like to control, what comes up for me is like that needing to get up and like pound it out at the gym. That seems to be a theme for me. Am I willing to let that go and live my life a little bit more in my femininity and in my softness and taking on other
Mm.
types of movement? Am I willing to let go of my food restrictions? Am I willing to let go of you know, judgmental people in my life? There's so many things that we can let go of. And I was just thinking, there's this theme. I had a interaction with a person, and I had left a conversation and got in my car. And the song on the radio was the Frozen song, Let It Go, right? So there's those synchronicities,
Yeah.
let it go, let it go. It's so pervasive in our social around us, right? Like songs like Let It Go, and um, companies that will come into your house and downsize you from all your possessions and just help you let it go. Um, letting go of someone who's passed away, like letting the grief go, like letting the emotional connections go from relationships that aren't serving us anymore. Like so many topics, right, that can come up with that.
Mhm.
That's where I get into what am I willing to let go? Like what do I need? What do I not need? Um, so now that I opened up all of that that Pandora's box, like what comes up for you about standing in your power and being able to let go?
Yeah, I think that it's almost like the you just keep hearing that knock at the door, right? It's
Mm,
like, am I gonna open the door and address what's on the other side, or am I just gonna keep ignoring that knock at the door? Like for me, um, there's been so many things that it's like, yeah, I hear you. I know you're there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not ready yet. So I'm not
yeah.
ready to let that go yet. But I know that when I do stand in my power and um, decide to open the door and at least have a conversation with, what's coming up right away for me is my relationship with alcohol that I used to have.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was a nightly, almost nightly, just habit. It was a habit. I wasn't getting drunk. I wasn't, out at the bars or, doing anything like that, but it was just habit. Like it was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm cooking dinner now and it's my time to unwind and my time to relax. And this is just what adults do. Have a, this is what my
Okay.
parents did.
Yeah.
Have a glass of wine. And then it was like, well, I'll have one with dinner. And maybe that would turn into two. And I never had more. Two was always probably my max, but it was in the back of my mind, it was always that knocking, like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's an invitation to maybe take a night off or two. And so I think that's kind of what I started was like, okay, I don't need to, I don't need to have this now. And even when I was with other people, that it was their habit too,
Mm.
a social thing. To be able, that first time I remember saying no or pouring myself a seltzer instead, it felt really empowering. And I felt so clear and not waking up in the middle of the night with dry mouth or
Mm. The
waking up
headache.
in the morning feeling heavy. And not hungover, but just like the heaviness or having the pain in my joints. And I didn't know at the time, like, oh, if I stop drinking, like I'm gonna feel better. It wasn't so much about that. It was just, are you willing to break this habit? Is there something else that you could replace that with? And there's been many things I've let go of, not just like physical things, but emotions, attachments, stories
Mm.
I've had about people and, circumstances. God, there's just so much we could talk about here.
Yeah, this is a big one, right? And I think, your individual story is important. And I think that anyone can resonate with that. And as you were talking, I was thinking about all the different levels. I was thinking of letting go of hair color. Like, let's get in, right?
That
Like letting,
too. I'm
that
going
was
on 2 years of
that
with
was
no hair
very
color. It's still
at 10
liberating.
10 plus years ago. I was the only one in my social group who, how dare you? How dare, right? And could I let go of my attachments, right? There was my attachment to being part of the group, my attachment to looking a certain way. And I go in and then my levels were going higher because I find right now, and I'm doing the work. I am always doing the work. Um, I am processing right now, letting go of my judgments, and I'm aware of, I've seen a shift as I've been able to start letting go of those judgments, that my life is becoming easier. Like it's not blocking me as much anymore. It's spiritually helping me open more and reach a better attainment of what I'm seeking, right? And I want to stand in my power. I want to spiritually be in my power. And not everything has to be observed by me with a judgment. And that goes from personal relationships to total strangers on the street and drivers in another car, right? We can get right into the minutia.
Those
Um,
Boston drivers.
yeah, and 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 really st finding myself able to stand in my power when I catch myself, right? I catch myself like, I need to go to the gym this week because I've been soft on myself, right? So it's almost like self-judgments, right? Why can't I just stay in self-love? Like I need to let that go. And catching myself with, oh, you're judging somebody for, I don't know, a political stance, like anything you want to pick, it doesn't matter. Someone who chooses to wear blue instead of red today, like it doesn't matter. But it takes me out of my power, right? And I've learned to soften myself and let it go, right? Like my energy is not needed in that. Um, and I think that all of the things that we're looking at and that come up for us, is this best for me anymore? And if I want to if I want to live a more spiritual life, do I need to be doing certain things, or can I let that go, right? And just live in my own heart space and be me. It's a big one, right? And I would encourage anyone who's watching, like, look at that for yourself, you know? And Diane, do you find, gosh, like, what is the question? Do you find that, do you find the clarity and the movement forward, like with those shifts that you made, and and yet find yourself judged? Like here we are talking about letting go judgment go, but then we are judged, right? For, well, you're not drinking with us anymore, or you're you're off on a different path now, and like, where's your power in that? And how do you stand in your truth and stay true to yourself?
I definitely feel more clear, more grounded, so connected with who I am. Um, the self-love that I've
Mhm.
cultivated over the years. And it is very empowering to be able to stand in that and not, I'm not going to say an explicitive here, but I could not worry about what other people think. I really don't care. I
Yeah.
really don't care. And it, it pains me when others around me who I love dearly are so self-critical, or, just some things they may say, like, and I'm not going to throw out examples, but
We observe. Yeah.
we observe, and it's like, oh gosh, you have no idea. Like, I remember somebody told me this, a friend of mine told me this years ago, and where she was, I'll see if I can remember this story. She was talking about herself, and I don't remember in what context. Maybe it was just being afraid of what people thought about her. Like, I don't know if it was like her physical looks. She was talking to another family member about this, and just like, well, I don't think I want to go out because I need to. And I'm just going to throw this example out because this isn't exactly what, it doesn't matter. You get the idea. I don't want to go out because of the way I look. I need to shower. I need to put my, do my hair or put my makeup on. And the family member said, stop being so self-absorbed. Do you really think other people care?
Mm.
And it was like, wow, yeah, that's so true. It's only
Yeah.
us that, you know, that care about that stuff. But I I do feel, and it's taken time, it's taken years. I mean,
Yes.
I'm, in my late 50s, and it certainly didn't happen overnight, but I certainly feel, there are moments, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, most of the time, am very comfortable in my skin, um and feel, clear-headed, and I'm always going to be letting go. There's always going to be things coming up
Yeah.
that I need to look at, to, why is this causing me to not feel like I'm in my power? Why do I feel like
Right.
I'm out of alignment with my truth? Or and it's just there are more opportunities. We've talked about this before, the layers, the peeling back, and the letting go, the releasing in order to, it might be uncomfortable at the time, but in order to ultimately feel more at peace.
Yeah. And I think that, some of the things we're breaking away from, right? We're breaking away from, I heard you say, like, that's what our parents did, right? And like that was the culture. And, I think maybe generationally we got caught up in, I'll call it, is my favorite, because because we know each other from the 90s, this is, we were getting married at the same time, the Martha Stewart way, right? Everything needed
Oh
to
yeah.
look a certain way. It was a huge layer, right? And it was nice and it was fun, but how it kind of took over a little bit. Everything had to look the same way, and we had holidays had to have a certain feel, and we lost ourselves in that. And
Yeah.
what I was thinking about as I was listening to you talk about that is, we still get caught up, right? We get caught up in what other people think, and you feel yourself losing your basis. Like, where am I in this? What do I really like?
Mhm.
What do I really like? What color do I really like? Just because
Who am I
Magnolia Homes
really? Like,
is doing everything with white shiplap, like maybe that's not what I like. But I can hear my conversation with my Gen Z. I have an elder. We have elder Gen Zs, and I can hear her saying to me like, what do you care what anyone thinks?
what do you care? Yeah,
Like right
exactly.
there,
I hear
like
that
they're
a lot too. What do you
teaching us.
care? Like, who
And then it's
cares?
like, I don't know. Like, can I let that go? Like, right? And beautiful. And because I'm not sure, I have to really sit with that. Like, and then I do sit with it, and I'm shocked. Like, you're judging me, and then I'm like, I need to look at that myself. And then I can soften, and then I can be like, whoa, where is my power in that? But letting all my choices go, and houses need to look a certain way. Like, it just goes on and on. But it comes back to this, like the self. It comes back to the center. Like, how do I feel about that? How do I want to live my life? How do I want to speak? Do I want to speak light language on an open channel? Do I want to hide? Like, what am I willing to let go to be my more authentic self? And I think we can talk so much more about stepping into that.
We can talk about so much more as we step into that. And I'll go back to the class that I led this
Mm,
afternoon, the meditation class, and it was so beautiful because um I had people come up after the class and say, I feel so much lighter in my
mm,
body. I was able to release pain from the death of my spouse 15 months ago that I've been holding in my heart. Um, One woman said she hadn't been able to get up and down off the floor because of back pain, and she showed me right there that she was doing it. And so we, um, and of course, I guided them through some imagery of releasing, right?
mm,
It's energy. These things are, everything is energy. Everything is energy. And we have such power to step into that. And it's a choice though. And the imagery, and you all listening can do this yourselves, was what I used was I guided them through. We were all hiking. We were all on this community hike together, and we all had bags with us. And when we got to the top of this hill, we set our bags down, and I had them look in their bags. This is all through guided meditation. And in the bags were stones, and each stone had a word on it, and the word was attached to something that they've been carrying, whether it be resentment, anger, unforgiveness. They were labeling them. We weren't talking. I was just talking. You get the idea. And the invitation was, you can take the stones out of the bag and set them at your feet. You can look at all of them. You can throw them off the side of the hill, or you can put them back in the bag. It's your
mm,
choice. Do you want to keep carrying them? Physical pain was one. Do you want to keep carrying them, or are you ready to let some of those things go? And then I walked them back down the hill. They still had their bags for those of them who decided to keep carrying them. I said, the bags are biodegradable, so don't worry, leaving a bag out in nature. But down at the bottom of the hill, they had another opportunity. Do you want to keep, how is that? How are those stones feeling carrying those? Do you want to continue on, or maybe you want to take another look inside and maybe throw some out if you're
Yeah,
ready? Your choice,
right.
right? And there's so much power in that. There's
Yeah,
so much power in just saying yes or saying no. Like, I'm done with it. I'm done feeling this way. I don't want to take this on anymore. It doesn't serve me to my greatest and highest good anymore. I'm
right.
ready to release it. And the power to just connect with something greater than ourselves, connecting with spirit, with God, with Jesus, with Buddha, with, the angels, like whatever, your ancestors, help me, having the intention, help me release what I don't want to carry anymore.
Yeah.
And I'll give this really quick example that I had this week that I was telling Karen before we recorded, and then I'll let you take over. I burned myself
Yeah.
back to back on this week, a couple days ago. I baked my first loaf of sourdough bread, and I was taking the top off the cast iron pot that had just came out of a 450-degree oven. Didn't have it. I don't even know where my head was, but I put my hand right on it and scalded the palm of my hand, and it was excruciatingly painful. And I didn't even think at the time to run it under cold water because I was timing myself and I needed to jump in the shower to get somewhere. And it really hurt when the hot water hit it. And then in that moment, I was like, wait a minute. I call in Archangel
Hmm.
Raphael. I put my other hand on it and I, said a little, thank you for taking away this pain. And it was gone. And I had no red marks. And then I burned it again right after I got out of the shower. I burned my and I did run it under cold water, but I said the same thing, like, thank you, Archangel Raphael, for taking away. And he's the
Yeah.
archangel of healing, helping me, and gone. Like,
Reclaiming your
that's standing
power.
in my power, standing in
Yeah,
my power,
reclaiming it,
claiming, claiming.
connecting to who connecting to all you are and what is available to you. And
And
I
this
was,
is available to everybody, to
yes,
everybody.
yes. I was hearing you talk about leaving the rocks and lightening the weight. And I just, there's adding, like, I just like to add to that as, as we make room, right? Making room, letting go, we can make room for so much more to come in,
Yes.
right? There's
Yes.
that, um, just like I like to just envision that as releasing and letting go, and then just ending that with um, making room and inviting in the light of God, right? Fill me in those spaces that I created. Um, However that verbiage is for you, and it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Just fill the space back in with light.
Mm.
And I was just going to end on what I've been, I'm not going to sing it, but I have the visual in my head playing of Elsa from Frozen, standing on her creation on that mountaintop in the snow with her arms spread back, spinning. Let it go, right? And there
Yeah.
she is in her power, everything she had to choke down and felt judged for. And there's just such a beautiful Disney moment of having that all available to her, and let it go. And that's just such a beautiful message. Actually, I just realized I'm wearing Elsa blue. So yeah, I just invite everybody to just look at, where can I lighten the baggage? What can I let in its place? Where can I shift in my life? Where can I bring my power in? What can that look like? Like it's limitless.
It is limitless. We are creators, created by the creator. We are here to create. We are here to stand in our power and to grow and to change, and you're never stuck anywhere unless you choose to be stuck.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah,
a
right.
choice. We all
It's
have
the
free will. We all
it's
have.
the it's the Eight of Swords tarot card, right? Just where am I blinding myself? Where am I
Mm.
binding myself and not letting myself move forward? Yes.